You are now watching Believe. Do you believe?
Go single! Thomas nuts! Nuts!
ITG.
With Wes, Owen, and Jed.
And we're the three best friends that anybody can have.
I mean, my initials are WVU. I've been a WVU fan my whole life.
They shouldn't have played the old Golden Blue. Not this night!
Owen Schmidt, like a runaway beer truck down the sidelines.
Now joined by Jed Drenning, West Virginia sideline reporter.
Are you ready? Are you ready for some football? You want the noise brought on you? Because here it comes.
You're in the right place. You are in the gun.
Because once you enter this family, there's no getting out.
In the gun here, it's time for another edition of Who Wants to Be a Mountaineer? Yes, the new favorite trivia game show that is burning up the airwaves across Mountaineer Nation. I am Wesley Euler. I got the best co-hosts, co-contributors, co-competitors here for this edition of Who Wants to Be a Mountaineer. We've got the runaway beer truck, Owen Schmidt. We've got the producer slash co-host slash Mr. Do-It-All
slash
Schuyler
defending
Callahan,
champion
slash defending champion 1-0 undefeated, never lost, Schuyler Callahan.
Fired.
And we have got the signal caller, or as he is known here on Who Wants to Be a Mountaineer, the Alex Trebek of the program, Mr. Jed Drenning. Jed Regis Philbin Drenning here on this edition of Who Wants to Be a Mountaineer. Gentlemen, how we doing? We are back once again. Schuyler and I for the second time. Owen for the first time. Jed, this one, we got the whole crew here. This should be a lot of fun.
The whole crew is here. So let's start with this. Before we even get into the game, Owen, what was the halftime score of your win over Louisville in 2005, the big triple overtime? What was the halftime score?
A lot to a little.
They both came close. 17-0. That was the final question last time. But you guys both came close. But anyway, some of these are tough. They're all tough when you don't know the answer, right? And I'm just glad, as I've said before, that I'm on this side. I don't have to answer them. I just get to ask them, right? So I get to feel smart because I don't have to answer anything. So let's give Schuyler a chance to set the table with our little intro music. That will be a good time, like right now.
All right, boys, let's go!
One side of the stadium filled with 60,000 plus is yelling, "Let's go," and the other side is yelling, "Mountaineer."
We want to tell you the stuff we're not good at, our weaknesses, so we're clear up front.
Owen's cracking up.
You just lost to your own game. You're outgunned and outmanned.
Who wants to be
A mountaineer?
That's a great question.
Keep your tears in your eyes.
Quick reminder for those who missed the first edition of Who Wants to Be a Mountaineer. It's very simple. We have two halves of questions. 4 questions asked in each half. In the first half, the questions are worth 1, 2, 3, and 4 points. They grow more difficult the higher the point value becomes. In the second half, like on Jeopardy, we double the points, 2, 4, 6, and 8. And then finally, we have one final question that you get to gamble whatever total you want. Somewhere along the way, there will be our nut check question, which you also get to gamble anything out of your point total that you want. I'll explain that when it happens because we didn't do as good a job explaining it the last time. And also, last time we didn't do a very good job keeping score.
We're polishing this thing up as we roll along, okay?
Here's the pilot.
We're building the plane. We're building the plane as we fly it, all right?
I screwed Schuyler out of a point last time on top of everything else.
No, still won.
He still would have won anyways.
Still won. He still won. Now, let's preface this by saying Owen slept an hour last night. Schuyler pulled an all-nighter. So here's Wes, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Wait. You don't know what I've been through today. All right, what are you okay? You don't know what I've been through today.
I saw it. I saw on Bet Online that you were a 16.5-point favorite today. So,
oh, geez.
Take the points.
You're going to cover
points.
Take the points. Money line me, but
points.
take the points if you're going that direction.
Without further ado, here we go. I can't speak French. Who wants to be a mountaineer? This would be episode 2, whatever you want to call it. Okay, starting the first half. You guys will text your questions. Owen's on his phone, so he's going to wait for those listening and answer after they text theirs to me. So, okay. First question, 1 point. West Virginia's maiden game in the Big 12 Conference was a wild one against the Baylor Bears in Morgantown in 2012. What was the final score? This is multiple choice. Was it A, 70 to 63? A, 70 to 63? Or was it B, 55 to 48?
Thanks for the multiple choice, Jed.
That's why I did it.
Big O, I think Schuyler and I have texted our answers.
I got both answers.
Okay.
You want to give it a guess, Owen? Was it 70 to 63 West Virginia or 55 to 48 West Virginia?
Oh man, I'm gonna go with A.
A
Booyah!
is correct. We went 3 for 3 on that one.
Woo!
Does anybody remember the halftime score? I don't. Anybody remember the halftime score in that one?
It was 40, 35 all. No,
I think 42
you were right. all right.
I thought it was 35 all.
42-35. Here's what I do remember about the first half. I don't remember the score. I think it was 42-35. Might have been 35-0. But I know for a fact Gino's stat line in the first half. 26 of 28 for 310 yards and 4 touchdowns in the first half.
Wow.
In the first half.
And Nick Florence looked like the next coming of RG3 in that game as well.
That's the game also. We could talk about that game all night. Stedman Bailey, of course, set a Big 12 single game receiving yardage record, which he held for about 7 minutes. Because it was broken by Baylor later in the same quarter, in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, but Stedman won the war, baby. All right. He might have lost that battle, but he won the war.
We are tied at 1. Excellent job, men. All right, as we approach question number 2. Question number 2, worth 2 points. This also is multiple choice. WVU's record-setting Todd Sauerbrunn booted the longest punt in school history, a 90-yarder, in a Mountaineer loss in the 1994 Kickoff Classic to what opponent in Giant Stadium? Was it A, Nebraska, B, Missouri, C, Purdue? Please text me your answers. Oh, and I'll tell you when I got them, then you can answer. You want a hint? It was 31-0. It was a loss. It was a tough one. That was a long day for everybody except Todd Sauerbrunn. We have both answers. Owen, would you like to guess? Nebraska, Missouri, or Purdue? Who did we get beat by in that game?
Oh man, I'm gonna go with C.
C, Purdue?
Yes.
Final answer?
That's all I got.
It's Nebraska, a 31-0 loss and Nebraska was stacked.
Yes.
That was Nebraska's heyday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely it was.
I thought it was either Nebraska or Missouri. That's what I was down.
Yeah, I thought it was Nebraska or Purdue, like Big O said. That was my fifth.
Again, as we found out in the last episode, I've often told people, I think we found the demarcation line that is the Mason-Dixon line for West Virginia generational fandom, and that is Paul Woodside. Because I asked a question about kicker Paul Woodside in the last episode, and I got a bunch of responses after the episode. And the responses, half of them were, my favorite Mountaineer ever, Paul Woodside. And the other half were, who the hell's Paul Woodside?
Who's Paul Woodside?
So the younger guys were like, who's Paul Woodside? I'm like, he was like a superhero to us if you were of that generation. So 2 points. I'm trying to find a pen that will work. I didn't come prepared as a host, guys. My pen's terrible.
I got one for you.
Yeah, here you go.
Yeah, you can hand it through for me.
You think if we throw it really hard, it'll go through the camera?
I mean, it is the portal era, right?
Yeah, it's true.
Utilize the portal.
Touche. So it is 3-3 to Owen 1. Okay. All right. It's West 3, Owen 1, Schuyler 3. Keep me honest with the score because I screwed up the last time. All right. So that brings us to question number 3. Question number 3, worth 3 points in this first half. What school did WVU beat by a 41-27 count in 1980 in Don Nehlen's first game as the head coach at West Virginia? Also, the first ever game at New Mountaineer Field. Was it A, Temple, B, Cincinnati, C, Colorado? You both sent your answers. Okay, we have both answers. Owen, we got both answers in. So, first game at Mountaineer Field, Don Nehlen's first win as West Virginia's head coach, 1980. Was it Temple, Cincinnati, or Colorado State? What is your guess, young man, Mr. 1 hour sleep?
I'm gonna say B again, Cincinnati.
Go. 3 points for Big O, 3 points for West, 3 points for Schuyler.
Look at us, boys.
Look
we
at
rolling.
This. Cooking with gas. Cooking
sleep,
with
no
gas.
sleep.
So, no sleep. So with all 3 of you getting that correct, that's question number 3. So I have you at West 6, Schuyler 6, Owen 4, as we come down the stretch to wrap up this first half of action on Who Wants to Be a Mountaineer. All right. Question that brings us to
big final drive of the first half here. You know, we're getting the ball back at halftime, so we really want to double up here and take advantage.
Well, here's what we know about Wes, right, Schuyler? He's not a second half player. Come on, that's
right. That's right.
All right. I mean, settle down. Listen, you know, it's a very small sample size. It's just one episode in the history of this great game show. All right, just give me some time here. All right, sample size.
For those who missed the first episode, Wes led for 59-59 and lost at the end. Schuyler made a mad
I was like the basketball team, Owen, that led wall to wall and then lost on a buzzer beater at the gun at the last episode. Yeah, it was heartbreaking. It really was.
So question 4, worth 4 points. Oh, looky here. It is today's nut check.
Nut check. Nut check.
Nut
check.
Uh-oh. Nut check. Now, we didn't clarify maybe as much as we should have on the last episode. The nut check question, you can gamble up to as many points as you have scored so far in the game when the nut check question appears. Now, you are gambling the amount of the question, not the question, I should say. The game, like for Owen, Wes, you have 6, Owen, you have 4, Schuyler, you have 6. So you can gamble whatever you have, and you'll get that if you get the question right on top of the 4 points you get for the question. But with a nut check, you could lose what you gamble too. You won't lose the 4 points of the question, but you will lose whatever you gamble. Make sense? Gamble 0, get the question right, you got 4 points anyway. It's a 4-point question. Gamble 4, get the question right, Owen, you got 8 points. But gamble 4, get the question wrong, you do lose 4. So I need you to tell me your amounts if you're going to text me that in, and then I'll ask Owen his amount, and then I will read the question. All right,
I got nothing to lose here, Jed.
Okay, you going for broke?
Going for broke, baby.
Broke?
Hey,
all right.
I'm busting a nut.
We should have known.
He ain't checking nuts. He's busting them.
This edition of Who Wants to Be a Mountaineer is rated NC-17.
Yes, that's
the views of one Owen Schmidt do not necessarily reflect the views of ITG management.
And when you sell out Brewer Stadium, I'll let you talk like that on here. Like Charles Wesley Godwin. Yes. Okay, so Owen's betting all 4. Okay. All right. Here we go. Here is the question, and then I'll tell you what everybody else bet. Fresh off their stunning upset win, this is worth 4 points plus what you gamble. Fresh off their stunning upset win at Oklahoma to open the 1982 season 1 week earlier, WVU thwarted a 2-point conversion attempt in the game's final seconds by what future NFL quarterback to salvage a narrow 19-18 victory over the Maryland Terrapins at Mountaineer Field. The week after the seminal win on the road at Oklahoma, the program building win at Oklahoma, we came home and we won this game 19-18 with a 2-point conversion stop. At the very end, against what Maryland quarterback? Multiple choice. Was it A, Frank Reich? Was it B, Boomer Esiason? Was it C, Neil O'Donnell? Frank Reich, Boomer Esiason, or Neil O'Donnell?
What year was this? 82?
It was 1982. Correct.
I just want to say, and watch, I'll probably end up getting this wrong, but I think I knew the answer to this right away. And so once again, I'm very upset with all the multiple choice from you. All right, because I think I know these. I don't need the multiple choice, but we'll see as long as I'm correct.
If I get this wrong, I feel ashamed of myself, but I'm pretty sure I know this one.
If I get it wrong, I don't really. I mean, I don't know the answer. I'm just guessing.
That's fair.
Oh,
okay, so I've got their answers, Owen. What's your answer? Is it Frank Reich, Boomer Esiason, or Neil O'Donnell?
I'm going to go with Boomer.
Owen goes with Boomer. Owen is correct.
Oh,
it's Boomer Esiason.
Oh,
Schuyler guessed Frank
Big
Reich.
Cozy!
So Wes got it right.
Cozy, baby!
So
Big Cozy!
let's do the math. Let's do
do
the math. Oh boy, the nut check strikes.
So I
Here
get
we
7
go.
points
So-
because I risked 3, right?
That's right.
Plus 4.
So
gives
you
me
are up to
7.
13.
So I'm up to 13
I'll tell you
points,
what,
baby.
Owen was at 4 and bet 4 and got 4.
So he's at
So
12.
Owen's at 12. Schuyler was at 6. He gambled 1. Not that damaging, Schuyler. Okay, not that damaging. So sidebar here. Here's a little more trivia about that game. It was my first game at Mountaineer Field.
Ooh, I like that. There we go.
Let me tell you a little thing about it real quick. It was my little league football team, the Davis Thomas Rams. We went as a team. What I remembered is two things about that day that I remember. One of my buddies, my dad was driving his Chevy Blazer, and we were all packed in. There was like 3 cars went to Morgantown. And my dad packed like 10 of us in there. Well, one of my teammates in the back, he cracked a rat. And my dad warned him, don't do that again. He stunk up the Blazer. Well, he did it again. And that's back when my dad was trapping. So Owen, he opened up the mink lure, which is mink piss. And he stunk us all out of that Blazer. So that's my first memory of that day on the way to Morgantown. My second memory, we were literally at that time on the field behind the end zone, laying on the turf, watching the game on the facilities building end. Rich Hollins caught the go-ahead touchdown. Dude, I swear when he jumped up, beads of sweat flew off him and hit us. I thought that was the most awesome thing I'd ever been part of in my life. That was the good news. The bad news was when Boomer got the Terps driving, they drove to the other end of the field, and here we are at field level. We couldn't see anything. But that was my first game at Mountaineer Field.
That's
awesome.
So
we
don't
now
know
have a
why.
score.
I thought that was a Jed taking a trick up his sleeve there with the Frank Reich question. But
What's Frank Reich famous for?
all the comebacks, the Super Bowl,
the biggest comeback in postseason history.
We only talked about
biggest
it
comeback in
700 times
postseason
last
history and the biggest comeback in college history.
Yep.
Miami.
I think Kim Kardashian had the biggest comeback story.
Yeah.
Was that? You know that video?
He's going for broke.
Yes. Chris
Imagine
Pratt,
if he'd had 2 hours sleep.
over here.
Imagine if he'd had 2 hours sleep. So that brings us to halftime with our score. Again, I need help here. Wes is
It's
up
13
13 to
Euler,
13 to 12 to 5.
Owen, 5.
But Wes
the
is always
reigning
winning at halftime. We don't read much into that, right? It's we don't read.
We get hot
You don't
down
know.
the
You don't know
stretch.
what I've been. You don't know what I've been through today. All right. You think it's bad for these guys on their lack of sleep right now. All right. I'm like a wounded animal.
Hey
I'm like
Wes,
a
if
wounded
this
animal
happens
back
again,
into the corner, baby. I got my Big East JT Thomas jersey dog on.
got
I
his
came to
JT
play
Thomas on.
today. All right.
Wes,
No
if you
excuse.
blow consecutive halftime leads, you're going to develop a reputation of being a folder. You don't want that reputation.
Listen,
You gotta
listen.
hold.
Much like Jim Harbaugh, I will leave nothing to chance.
Nothing to chance.
I'm ready to
Nothing
pull my
to
best
chance.
Frank Reich.
Can't lose. Can't
Wes,
lose
you
when you know
wanna-
what's coming.
You want to take us to break, Wes? We're at halftime. We'll take a
Yes,
break, and then we take another break after the second half before final question. So
Halftime. All right, everybody, get your beverages, use the bathroom, couple snacks. We'll meet back here in just a few minutes. You are in the gun.
Nobody supports the blue and gold Mountaineers like Toothman Ford. With over 20 NIL deals and counting, Toothman Ford continues to rally behind our student athletes. And it's time we rally and support the dealer that supports the Mountaineers. Not only does Toothman Ford offer the best prices in the state on pre-owned, their never over MSRP campaign on new Fords guaranteed to save you thousands. Drive with pride all season long, knowing you're supporting the dealer that fuels our Mountaineers. Toothman Ford, where cars cost less, in Grafton and at toothmanford.com.
ITG will return after these messages.
Georgia has 2 timeouts left. 1:45 to play in regulation. And now they're going to fake it. Brady, the punter's got a first down. And that might just sew up the Nokia Sugar Bowl for the Mountaineers.
For nearly 20 years, Fortis has been the nation's leader in providing guaranteed roof performance programs for commercial buildings. Fortis offers roof performance solutions that feature extensive initial and ongoing reconditioning for commercial buildings as an alternative to traditional replacement, with long-term performance guarantees that are backed by global leader Lloyd's of London. Fortis offers a comprehensive range of roof performance management programs that provide financial security, extend the life of our customers' roofs, and make a significant impact on ROI. Fortis is currently improving performance and increasing ROI for customers at more than 4,800 locations, with more than 140 million square feet protected, including many Fortune 500 companies that have turned to Fortis to save money, gain financial certainty, and extend the life of their existing roofs. Fortis has helped customers save more than $520 million in capital roof replacement costs for an average ROI of over 250%. To learn more, visit fortis.us.com. Fortis, roof performance and financial certainty guaranteed. All right, second half here, back at Who Wants to Be a Mountaineer Field. 30 minutes in the books. Euler leads 13. Beer truck 12. I mean, that beer truck is right on the heels, baby. I mean, they are neck and neck. This is like a Fast and the Furious race down the line. And then Schuyler, I mean, once again, much like where he was last week, he's got him right where he wants him, with 5 points as we get ready to kick off the ball here. Signal caller, Mr. Trebek Drenning, to get the second half going.
So now we know there's no more nut check questions. There's only one nut check per episode. So, and Wes and Owen benefited in a big way from the nut check. Boy, that was big for him. Schuyler, you better bring it up now. Here we go.
Here we go.
So, first question to kick off the second half. Point value, remember, the second half does double. This question number 1, is worth 2 points. The questions not only get harder the higher point value, but sometimes in general in the second half, they might get a little harder anyway. But question number 1, worth 2 points to kick off this second half. Here we go. After finishing the regular season with a perfect 11-0 record in 1988, West Virginia was pitted against which blue blood program for a shot at the national title in the Fiesta Bowl on January 2nd, 1989? Was it USC, Notre Dame, or Alabama? Who did West Virginia play for the national championship in the Fiesta Bowl in 1989 following the 1988 regular season? Okay, we've got both answers in from Wes and Schuyler. USC, Notre Dame, or Alabama, Owen?
I believe it was the Irish.
I believe you are correct. 3 for 3, clean sweep across
Where's
the board.
Where's my pint of Guinness?
Oh, different.
Sorry, different Irish.
You get
Sorry,
2.
different Irish.
Also
for
known
Owen.
as the last national championship for Notre Dame.
That's true. That is correct, sir. For a long time, it was their last bowl game, or bowl win, I should say. Bowl win for a long time, until like a handful of years ago, whatever it was. But very correct. So now we are at West 15, Owen 14, Schuyler 7. Things heating up here on Who Wants to Be a Mountaineer in the second half as we go to question 2. I like this one. True, false. True or false? Now, I know what you're thinking.
50% chance.
True or false? I got a pretty good chance here. All right, well, let's see.
Trick up the sleeve.
True or false? Worth 4 points. Pat White never had a game at West Virginia in which he threw multiple interceptions. In other words, he never had a game in which he threw more than 1 interception. True or false?
Are you saying home games or
Give
in
me
his
your
career?
answers. In his career at West Virginia,
Okay.
did he have a game in which he threw more than one pick? He never had it. In other words, you see what I'm saying? True, false. Pat White never had a game as a Mountaineer in which he threw multiple interceptions. True or false? Don't want to make it harder than it otherwise might be.
My answer's in.
Your answer is in. Schuyler's answer is in. Worth 4 points. Owen, true or false? Pat White never had a game at West Virginia in which he threw multiple interceptions.
Man, as impressive as that would seem, I'm going. I'm
You
going
better know
false.
this.
Hey, that's just the beginning of what he better know. Right? Teaser. You said what, Owen? True or false?
I said
You said
false.
False? Okay. The correct answer is false. You all three got it right.
We all got it right. Wow, man, we
right.
are rolling, boys.
White suffered 5 games with 2 or more interceptions during his debut career.
I never thought it'd be
impressive.
5. Yeah.
Wow.
5 of them. Okay.
19, 18, 11. That's your updated scoreboard.
That's correct. That's what I have too. Thank you, Wes. Wes is up 19. Owen has 18, and Schuyler has 11.
Ooh, into the fourth quarter.
Ooh, we're down to the final stretch of the fourth quarter. Question 3, worth 6 points. An opportunity for Schuyler if you guys miss this.
Yes.
Let's stick with the true or false. Whoa. True or false? In West Virginia's 30-10 victory in the 2023 Duke's Mayo Bowl, the Mountaineers held North Carolina scoreless in the final 2 quarters. This marked the first time a WVU defense had pitched a second-half shutout in a bowl game since 1975, when the Mountaineers beat NC State 13-10 in the Peach Bowl in Bobby Bowden's last game at West Virginia. True or false? We did shut North Carolina out in the second half, but was that the first time it happened since the 1975 Peach Bowl win over NC State? Was that the first second-half shutout in a bowl by a Mountaineer defense since 1975? True or false? Please submit your answers by text.
Ugh. Stumped me on this one. I ain't gonna lie.
This is a tough one. But you're saying bowl games, right? Only?
Bowl games only, yes. Bowl games only. So, yeah, if you go through, you can see some possibilities one way or the other. It's not easy. There's no doubt about that. It is not easy. Okay. So, I have their answers, Owen. True or false? What say you?
I'm saying true.
And you know what? I'm saying you're correct. Yeah! It was the first time since ninth. Now, Wes said false.
Wes got it
we
wrong.
Have a new score. We have a new score. Here we go. Owen, the new scoring leader at 24 with 6 points on that one. Wes remains in second place at 19, but the margin has tightened. Schuyler at 17, 24, 19, 17. Oh, boy.
The collapse has begun.
I'd like to lodge a complaint about all these true, false. I mean, what are we doing here? I mean, what do we just want to flip a coin on every one of these, or is this a trivia contest, or is this? Are we at the casino? Are we at the casino, or is this a game show? I mean, what are we doing here? Unbelievable,
this man, right now.
It's all right. Listen, game's not over. Game's not over. All right, we still got snaps.
There's a lot of we still got snaps. Now, bear in mind, you can that final question. You can gamble whatever you want.
We still got snaps. All right, there's still points in this.
Oh yeah. So, question 4 to wrap up the second half. Final question of the second half in the final seconds. Here we go. Worth 8 big ones. 8 points. True or false? I'm kidding. It's not true or false. It's multiple choice.
I was ready to leave. I was ready to leave the video here.
Okay. Here we go. Multiple choice. 8 points. Question 4 to wrap up the second half. Despite cutting his brilliant career short by entering the NFL draft following his junior season, Mountaineer great Steve Slayton left Morgantown as West Virginia's all-time leader in touchdowns. How many touchdowns did Slayton score in his career? A, 49, B, 55, C, 61. Touchdowns, rushing and passing. Your answers, gentlemen, and then I will ask for Owen's answer.
49, 55. What was the last one?
61.
I don't know.
Schuyler has submitted his answer. Wes has submitted his answer. Owen, we are prepared for your answer. What say you? How many did your partner in crime score in his career? 49, 55, or 61 in 3 years?
I'm going to say C.
Owen says C, 61. The correct answer, gentlemen, is B, 55.
Damn it!
Schuyler guessed 49. Owen guessed 61. Wes guessed 55.
What makes this worse was I was about to change my answer at the last
yeah,
second
everybody
to
was
be.
always about to change something.
I really, really was. I was about to say, hold on, I'm changing. I didn't want to go against my gut. Damn.
Okay. So
that was a big series right there, boys. Cool.
So we wrap up regulation with Wes in the lead, 27, Owen with 24, number 2, and Schuyler at 17. But again, I need you guys to, I'll give you the topic, and then you can submit the total in which you're going to game.
Jed just said we wrap up regulation with the scoreboard with somebody in the front. So, I mean, the way Jed just said it, it sounds like we got a winner. All right, you guys have fun playing for second. I'll see.
Didn't we wrap it up that way last week, Schuyler?
Yes.
You said regulation, end of regulation. I mean, what's the scoreboard at the end of last time I checked? We don't play overtime when there's a winner. I mean,
no, we play by different rules, right?
That's
so
right.
We have 3.
We're going to advance to the final question, and what we play out here is I give you kind of a topic for the final question, then you submit your point total. So once you two submit your point total to keep it a secret, Owen won't know. So then I'll ask Owen what his will be. So I need you guys. Okay, the topic is going to be Owen's special teams shenanigans.
Oh boy. Speaking of ones he should know.
Owen's special teams.
This is hard, man. CT's kicking in.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
So wait, are we taking another break here? Or are we rolling into this?
We're going to take a break after you submit the question. You submit, okay. Wes, I got your total. Schuyler, send me your total, then I'll ask Owen his.
It's just what our points in this last one, right? Like there's no.
You can only bet what you have.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Right.
What do I have?
You can bet everything 17? You have. You can bet none of what you have. Whatever you want to do. Wes, you have 27. Owen, you have 24. Schuyler, you have 17. So okay, I got Schuyler's.
Hell with it.
Okay, Wes.
I don't know how to play. Listen, I wish we could go to break here and I could think about this for half a second.
Some suspense.
Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't we go to break, and then Owen during the break can tell me, and then nobody will hear it and won't know it until the end of the show.
There we go.
Owen.
Now we're talking. That's perfect. Okay. Now we're talking. Now we're talking.
All
right. One final question to go here. Will we have a dramatic buzzer beater turn of events like we did last week? We've had a couple lead changes here so far. It's been a great game. We'll find out the conclusion next on this edition of Who Wants to Be a Mountaineer.
If you work the land, you just got to be a jack of all trades type. There's just too much to do. So if you got to be a welder or a farmer or a ditch digger, that's just who you are that day. Then tomorrow, you can be somebody else.
Get your Coyote at the new location of Johnston Equipment between Weston and Buchanan.
All right, the officials have brought everybody back onto the field here. We've got a third half to play. All right, no reports of the end of regulation were greatly exaggerated. We've got one more beyond nut check question here on this second episode of Who Wants to Be a Mountaineer. It relates to Owen's special team prowess. We have all secretly given Jed our numbers of how many of our points we're risking here on this final question. The drama builds, the suspense builds. You could cut the tension with a knife in my basement right now, I tell you. Jed Philbin, Alex Drenning, your final question, good sir.
Yeah, a minute ago we had our husky pup in here. She couldn't take it anymore. It was just too intense. She left. She had her paws up, covering her eyes.
She's got the agita just from hanging around.
So the final question. Oh, this could go so many different ways. Owen's special teams shenanigans. Here we go. Final question. Listen closely, ladies and gentlemen. Owen Schmidt earned a reputation as a face mask busting fullback during his career at West Virginia. But there was a certain special teams element to Schmidt's game that some fans might not remember. Owen actually performed 3 hooch punts as a Mountaineer, including 2 that pinned the opposition inside the 20-yard line. In 2 guesses, I'm being fair here, because this is not multiple choice. Remember, the final question is not multiple choice. In 2 guesses, Wes, I can tell, I think you know it. Can you name at least one of the 3 teams Owen punted against? He punted 3 times against 3 teams. I can tell. Oh boy, we're on to something here. I was thinking, he's like, that hour sleep's killing him. He's like, wait a minute, who was this? All right.
Oh God.
All right.
I remember it like it was yesterday. I was just a high school lad sitting there in the stadium when the beer truck busted a helmet over his skull.
I keep going back and forth. So we get 2 guesses, right?
2 guesses to name one of the 3.
Oh, 2 guesses?
You get 2 guesses. Yes.
All right. I mean, I'm almost positive one of mine's right, but I might as well throw another one in there just to be safe.
Go for broke. Yeah. Well, you're not going for broke. If you're playing with the house's money, if you got it right?
I think so, but listen, this is like I'm not going to be an idiot and not make a second a back. You know, it's like I know I'm getting into the college that I'm applying to, but I should probably have a safety school too. You know, just to be safe. Like,
can't take the guesses with you.
Just in case you can't take the guesses with you. That's the better way to put it.
I don't know. Yeah. I really have no freaking idea. I cannot remember.
Okay.
Now I'm feeling overconfident, but I'm not.
We have their answers in, Owen. You're either going to remember this or you're not. Walk us through what you remember, Owen. First of all, does one of them jump out to you?
I'd say Syracuse is one of them.
That's correct.
Oh.
Syracuse is one of them.
Okay.
Keep going.
Oh, man.
You get 2
and then the other 2.
You already got it right. You don't remember the one I thought you'd remember, right, Wes? It's the one you remember.
It's the one I was referencing, right? Where Owen, you became famous for banging your head on national television.
And Wes both got it.
I don't really remember what game that was.
Yeah, I mean, most of the time when you aggressively smash your helmet off your forehead, you're probably not going to remember.
I'd say that game was possibly Louisville game?
It was. Yeah.
It was Louisville. And the other, here's the answer. Wes, you guessed Rutgers and Louisville. Schuyler, you guessed Rutgers and Louisville. Owen, you're correct. Here's the answer. There were 3. In the Carrier Dome against Syracuse, you punted from the 38 down to the 11. Yep. Against Mississippi State, you punted from the 35 down to the 9, and one side the 10. Against Louisville, you punted from the 42. You thought about running it, and then it went off the side of your foot to the 33. You then kicked it. You were so upset that you whacked yourself in the head. The ESPN crew went on for 10 minutes about you banging your head on the sideline. So what we're going to have to do, I got the sound for that, Schuyler. I'll send it to you. We're going to play the sound from the ESPN crew, giving Owen hell, like, calm down, big guy, you know.
It's Owen Schmidt, the fullback, who's going to get the ball. He's the pooch punter. And he missed it. Wow. Yeah, a little wrinkle. They looked like they were going to go for it, which I thought was a lot of character for Rodriguez. That's the 3rd punt of the year for Schmidt, and that's not one for the time capsule.
You got to understand why we're laughing. We really like this guy. He's a great guy. And he's a character and a comedian. I would give anything to be in that locker room to listen to grief this guy's going to take.
He's peeking to see if maybe he can run for an easy first down.
The guy,
he had his head up.
Power clean, 525 pounds, and he can't kick a. How much does the ball weigh?
But he doesn't look like a punter, does he?
No.
Is that a punter?
Oh. That's a 9-yard punt by the big fella.
Oh, is he going to take some heat?
He said, "Oh,
whoa. Easy.
Well, it was. Hang on.
Easy,
big
easy on the helmet. Easy on the helmet.
Yeah, you might have to buy a new one.
Oh man!
Wow.
Huh? You know what?
We've talked about concussions tonight. That's a potential self-concussion. That's not soft. You got a look on your face.
So that is correct. So what that means, the gambles were thus. Wes, you had 27. You gambled 26.
Hold up. Which ones were the one you said within the 25 or what in the side of the 10-yard line?
I just counting anybody you punted against counted. So Syracuse, Mississippi State, Louisville. I was counting any of them. That's hard enough.
Syracuse and Mississippi State were the ones that you pinned.
Were the ones inside. I mean, that's kind of a
I
technicality.
remember to see that. Yeah. He pinned him in the carrier down.
Owen, but you know how this
you
works.
Doubled yours. He bet everything.
I was just going to say, right, Jed, the people don't remember the success. They remember you at your lowest points in your life, like shanking a punt off your foot on national TV against Louisville and then bang in your face.
Everybody guessed. Everybody
don't remember the
everything.
good times, Ellen.
Schuyler, you got it right. You gambled all 17 points. You doubled up to 34. Owen, you got it right. You gambled all 24 points. You doubled up to 48.
No
Wes,
defense
you
today.
had 27. You gambled 26.
Yeah. So what are those final scores now, Mr. Trebek?
53.
Huh? What was that about
Mr.
second half
Hours.
collapse? Huh?
There's all those true falses.
Somebody lost the lead in the third quarter. And it was
53.
another collapse, huh?
Wes Euler 53. Owen Schmidt 48.
Look at him, dude. Look at him.
The whole background's gone.
I'll tell you what. That fellas was a shootout. How about that? That last score, that last game was a defensive struggle. Okay, now Schuyler's pulled his hoodie up like Ted Kaczynski. Look at it. He's in sunglasses there.
I'll be honest.
I'd like to thank my mother. Hold on. This is my moment. I'd like to thank my mother for always supporting me since day one. I'd like to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for just the talent and the good head of hair. And I'd like to thank my wife Morgan and my 2 daughters who let me sit in the basement and watch sports and drink beer all the time instead of being a real dad. Thank you.
How about that? What was the score last week? Look at this score: 53 to 48 to 34. It was 6-0 last week.
Tale of 2 weeks.
We
I'll
went
be
from
honest.
ACC circa
the beauty of football,
2013
brother.
to Big 12
Sometimes-
circa 2016.
Sometimes it's Geno Smith throwing for 8 billion yards in a 70 to 63 game, and other times you got to grind it out in the pissing cold and win 6-0.
Hey, the best part of this achievement for Wes is he overcame all the bitching and moaning about the true and false questions and still pulled it off.
No. The best part about this for Wes is I beat the allegations of being Mr. Choke Artist here.
Hey, we're only 2. This is technically only 2 games in. So
yeah, Wes,
right now it's
Wes
still
was
half
about
true.
to be, Wes was about to become the who wants to be a Mountaineer Lamar Jackson.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. I'm not trying to be Gonzaga basketball up in here, okay?
Yeah.
I thought
well
Owens,
played, gentlemen.
I thought
well
Owens was Louisville and Syracuse, and I decided to freaking go Rutgers, but I did not remember Mississippi State
There's
at
one
all.
reason I wouldn't have guessed Rutgers is I remember a lot of things about Rutgers games. One of them's not punting against them too much.
That's true. That's true.
But Owen, hey, I'll say this: we have something in common. We both pooch kicked for Rich inside the 10. I did it.
I
was actually pretty good at it.
Yeah.
I did it on NCAA.
You were pretty good at it. I was.
2006, 2005.
Yeah, you did it. How about that? But
I once took my skate off and tried to stab somebody with it.
So, Owen, do you at all remember the Louisville one? Do you remember that at all?
What the run?
Shank, you seriously thought about running. That's what happened to you.
So basically on that play, like, all week they were saying, hey, if it's open, take it.
Give it a look-see. Yeah.
And I had already kind of predetermined in my mind, like, I'm running this thing.
Yeah.
And we were close to our sideline and we were running into the boundary there. And I'm telling you, I could hear Rich over the entire stadium saying, kick the ball. Like, and I'm sure there was some other lovely light-colored words that were displayed alongside that sentence from Mr. Rodriguez himself. But literally, that's all I could hear. Like, turn to the sideline, and all I'm seeing is him just freaking out, dude, and lose concentration. And I kicked the ball off my shin.
That's what happened.
That's what happened. So I missed my foot completely.
Wow, that's what happened.
But you know what, Owen? The good news for you is people only remember two things from that game. One, your bloody forehead. And two, Pat White taking it to the house with like 70 seconds left in the game, 55 yards or whatever it was to give the Mountaineers. You're good. Only dorks like us. Only dorks like us remember the shank.
You know what's funny, Owen? We had a game one time, and I rolled toward trips, and we ran a switch route with a broom route underneath it. And they showed cover one jump to zero and brought an edge rusher, and I didn't anticipate it. And that dude was about to whack me. And everything was all congested and messy to that trip side. I was like, I got nowhere. I was getting ready to throw it away. So I was on my back foot getting ready to take his shot and absorb the blow. And I heard Rich on the sideline screaming, throw the effing X. Well, the X is backside by himself on the sluggo up the hash. I didn't even see the X. I just knew where he was supposed to be. So just as I was about to get hit, I flung the ball backside as far as I could up that backside hash. Never even saw the X. Just knew where he was supposed to be. Touchdown, 60 yards. I come off the field, Rich is like, great read. I was like, thanks. I didn't even see. But of course, here's the difference. I was playing in front of 300 people. That's why I heard Rich.
It's fantastic. That's fantastic.
I will say,
a Thursday night game against Louisville and heard Rich.
I'm telling you, dude. I mean, you could just see the spasm happening. The freak out. I mean, it's.
Yeah,
the look.
It's this.
In the vein.
Both fists tight up, and what I'm saying. I would like to say, Wes, congratulations.
Yeah, this is like the part. Remember, in the Oscars or in the Grammys or whatever, like every person who comes up afterwards has to tell me how great I am now for the rest of the night. So Wes, it was amazing, virtuoso performance. You've inspired us all. Whatever you want to say. Yeah, go ahead.
I wouldn't say that. I'd say, I can see you're not much of a risk taker. You didn't want to really play the game. You kind of held it at the.
Jed saw what I did. I was brilliant. I risked every point except for one, because then if we would have all gotten it wrong, I would have had 1 point and you guys would have had goose egg.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. I am just glad that I'm on this side of the questions and not that side. It's a lot more fun. And I just hope it's as fun for everybody listening and watching as it has been for me, because this was fun last week. And we knew once we inserted Owen, it was going to get a third more fun.
Yeah,
it just did. This
Jed,
was a blast.
Because like we record these kind of in the moment, knowing that it's a podcast, but also the visual element. But yes, for those of you that do just listen to the podcast, I took my shirt off there on the video. That's what
stay on the audio side.
I ruined the complete setup behind me. I knocked all my things off the wall, twirling my JT Thomas jersey over my head, like I just won some combination of the Super Bowl and the World Cup and Olympic gold medal all at the same time. So if you haven't checked us out on YouTube yet and you're just an audio person, I mean, you want to see my big pasty belly, don't you?
I mean, just think, if this is how Wes celebrates a week two win, I mean, come on. This is a marathon, not a sprint there, buddy.
Whoa.
Just beat the allegations. Beat the allegations.
Oh boy. Like I said, this shows how nimble this game can be. It was 6-0 last week. This is 53-48.
Yeah, that's the beauty of football, I mean, it's as hard as the powers that be can legislate it for more points and more points and more points. Sometimes you just got to grind it out.
This is
terrific. Other times, this was more of a other times the safety's off and you just let it fly.
This guy, dude.
This was more of a
like
West type
bowl
of game. He wanted it high scoring. I like to keep it low scoring, play some
right.
defense. It just didn't go my way this week. That's all.
This was a BYU holiday bowl is what this was.
Boys, this was a lot of fun. Thanks to the host, Jed Drenning, for putting this all together, as always. For Schuyler Callahan, our co-host / producer / extraordinaire, and the runaway beer truck, Mr. Owen Schmidt. I am your Week 2 champion, Episode 2 champion. Tune in soon on ITG to find out who wins next time. But in the meantime, the one thing we ask of you is to be an ear and tell an ear about your new favorite WVU football podcast. Let us know what you think in the comments. All right. How many points did you get? Be honest. All right. Don't cheat. We'll continue to have some fun.
Everybody got them all right last week, Wes. Yeah.
If anybody got every single one this week, I tell you what, that'd be pretty impressive. Although, to be fair, it's complete honor system here. It's not like our pick 'em throughout the season where we actually track everything. This is complete honor system. But thanks for joining us for another edition of ITG. We'll talk to you soon. You've been in the gun.
ITG.
The fun doesn't have to stop here.
Be sure to hit subscribe and never miss an episode.
If you have any questions, suggestions, or feedback,
be sure to follow us on X at In the Gun Podcast.
Join us again next time.
Until then,
tell an ear to tell an ear about your new favorite WVU football podcast.
This mission is over. It's over.